Hey team, welcome back to Central Otago. Beautiful day. It's day is it? Wednesday the 20th of August, and it's about 6 o'clock at night. The sun's about to set here, so the days are getting longer. We've got snow all around the hills, but can't see it, of course, because of the glare on the camera. Anyway, so this video is a little bit different. This is for people that have no knowledge of beekeeping and that are interested in what it is that I actually do. It's very easy when you've got expertise in a field to just naturally assume that everybody knows what you're talking about. And as I was going through my videos, I realized that I was actually all of my videos are tailored to people who understand or have some understanding of what beekeeping is about. So this video is just to sort of explain a little bit about what it is that I do that's different from what most other beekeepers do. So if you go online, you look up, Central Kentucky Bees, Jeff's beekeeping channel, or Shirley's Bees, or DC, or who else can I think of? Sarah C, or there's lots of really great beekeepers on YouTube. And what they do is they mostly are honey producers. Some of them will make bees on the side to sell, or queens, but for the most part they produce honey. And when it comes time for us to make honey, we put a box on top of the beehives. So the beehive will be made up of one or two of these boxes full of bees, and then we get one of these boxes and we stick that on top of the beehive. And this is what we call a super. So this box here with all the frames in it is called a super. And this is a frame. So this whole complete unit here, this is a plastic one, is called a frame. And the stuff in the middle here is called foundation. So we turn this into the light a wee bit, what little light we've got left. You can see it's sort of got a bit of a white sheen to it. It's not black plastic, and you see there's a little bit of odd little marking up there in the top of the screen. Now that's the coating of wax that is on this frame. It's on the foundation, and so that's a coating of beeswax, or hopefully is beeswax. I have bought boxes before from other people that have had paraffin wax on them. They're terrible darn things, and I've had to get them completely clean them off. So what we want is beeswax. So we put this box with these frames on top of a beehive. And then what the bees will do, so when honeybees are between 8 and 16 days old, they have little glands underneath their bodies that can make wax. Pretty clever, actually. So they'll start off, and they'll start off with a frame like this with blank foundation. So this stuff here, foundation in the middle, and then they will start to build beeswax. So this is beeswax in the middle here. You can see here, this is the same as this. This is blank foundation. It's just got a little coating of wax on it, just like this one has. And the bees have started to build the new wax in the middle. And what they'll end up with is this. So this is what we would call a drawn out frame. So all these little holes in here, all these little hexagon holes, they're all beeswax, and the bees have made this all themselves. And under the right condition, when you've got lots of flowers around, the bees can produce one of these in about 8 days' time. Now, to make one of these frames of wax costs 5 kilograms of honey. So every time the bees make one of these, it costs 5 kilograms of honey. So it's considered extremely valuable. So if you go to the shop and you price out 5 kilograms of honey, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so for most beekeepers, what happens then is the bees will fill this with nectar that they collect from flowers. So it's just the sugary solution that they get as a reward for pollinating the flowers, whatever that is. And then the bees will process the nectar and it will turn into honey, which will look like this. So this is English sycamore honey, which is my early honey, and this is thyme honey, which is my main honey that I get. And when they've finished filling these up with honey, actually, I'll just pause you for a second because I just realised I forgot something to show you. Okay, so I just went and grabbed another frame. This is a wooden frame, but so you can see here, these are the little cells, little hexagon cells of beeswax, and this is what it looks like to the beekeeper when the honey is ready to harvest. So this is a layer of wax that the bees will produce, and we call this cappings, and it will keep the honey inside dry. At least that's the hope anyway. So you can see there. So all of this is cured honey that's ready to eat right now. And so the bees will completely cover one of these in that material. So, but most of it, 80-90% of it. And then when enough of these frames, so when we put a honey super on, we put 9 frames generally. Some people put 8, some people put 10. But 9 frames is the standard. And then we will take these boxes away from the bees, and we'll take the bees out of the boxes, and then we will extract the honey. So it might sound like we're stealing it from the honeybees, which we are, but we're stealing the surplus. So part of our job as beekeepers is to make the bees strong enough so that they not only have food for themselves, but they also have a surplus. And then we harvest that surplus. And then that's what you buy at the shop. So when most beekeepers go to take the honey out, they'll put these frames with all these cappings on, through a machine or do it by hand with a little fork or a roller, and they will take these cappings off. And then these frames will go into a thing that looks like a washing machine, and it'll get spun around and all the honey gets spun out. And then they will bottle that honey, and then that's what you buy at the shop. So when you go to the shop, this is what you get at the shop. So that's pure honey just in a jar, and so is this stuff. These are two very different types of honey. Now, a byproduct of them doing that is that as they're taking those wax cappings off, they get this stuff. And for most beekeepers who are honey producers, this stuff here is a byproduct. So the main product that they're after is honey, and this is a byproduct which they can then use themselves or sell if they're a large enough producer. The difference with me is that this is my main product. So this is actually what I sell. And so I do things that are different to most other beekeepers. I do give quite a lot of honey away. I don't sell honey. But I do give quite a lot of honey away. And the reason for that is there's a lot of beekeepers in central Otago who are producing really great time honey, and I don't want to compete with them. So I want to do something that's unique, something that there's a bit of a niche for and a need for. And because of a new piece of equipment, and not all of this equipment does this, but there's a new piece of equipment that reduces the amount of beeswax that is produced as a secondary product. And so there is now an increased demand for high grade, high quality beeswax. And this is what we call cosmetic grade. So this is very high grade beeswax. So this is new wax off cappings. So this is cappings, the lids that the bees put on these little cells to keep the honey dry. And it's brand new wax. And no, I actually sell bigger blocks than this. So I have some of these for to do another wee job. I want to put a coating of beeswax on these frames. Even though this is a supplier called Ecritech. They're pretty good with putting wax on their frames, but I like to just give them a freshen up coat. But so I have these little blocks set aside that I can melt down, and then I'll just roll that onto these frames here. So the bees have got new beeswax to start with. So the thing that I do different is that I feed, most of my honey gets fed back to my bees. And most other beekeepers are, that's the end of the game for them. When they get the honey out, then they sell that honey off. That's the end of the game, and they'll get a little bit of that stuff, that wax, as a byproduct. But for me, that's just when things start getting interesting. So I'll be making videos as we go along in the year. I will try to make some videos just explaining simply for people with no knowledge or understanding of beekeeping, what it is different that I'm doing compared to what most other beekeepers are doing. And you'll also see me do an extraction, because as you're probably well aware, honey is extremely expensive, and I set aside a amount of my honey to give away to people for free. And so I do actually extract honey as a normal beekeeper would, but I only extract just a wee amount. So I've got a few jars of this just to give away to people. And you'll see that, and then you'll see how I come to this stage here, and then me cleaning up the wax and pouring out the blocks and all that stuff, and then finally gets sold off to a company in the North Island called New Zealand Beeswax that sells it to food producers and cosmetic producers. So beeswax is used in things like lollies, sweets, lollies. So hard lollies, the shiny hard lollies, they use beeswax to polish the lollies to give them a shine. And things like lipstick. So this beeswax here would be put into things like lipstick and a lot of cosmetic creams. So that's why we call it cosmetic grade, because it's the very highest grade of beeswax that I can make. Consequently, I also get a higher price for it. There's not a lot of money in beeswax. So there is some money in beeswax if you're selling cosmetic grade, but not a lot. And it's another reason that most people don't do it. you need to be producing a lot of wax in order to make a decent income. So there we go. Hopefully that explains something. If you've got any questions, just put them in at the bottom of the video, and I hope you enjoyed that. Well, we're going to have to call it there because, as you can see, the sun's gone down behind the mountains. So I need to put all this stuff away and get myself inside, and I've got to go and get firewood. Yeah. Okay, guys. We'll see you later on.